Hello guys, hello everyone. Hi guys, hello everyone. So let's wait for 4 5 minutes more. So we'll be starting at 5 8. Okay. Who is in the session? Can you please write it in the chat? Only one person is in the chat. In that case, what session I should take? let's start, guys. Let's see if people gets reduced, then we have to cancel it. Okay, let's start then for now. I think my screen is getting shared, right? So, guys, this session is around recursion problem solving. Okay, we'll be taking some more recursion questions, and these questions are actually asked in the interviews, right? And we will start solving them. So, give me a second. The first question we have is print subsequences. Print subsequences. So let us suppose that we have an input string, and that input string is equal to ABC. Okay. Now, what will be the subsequences of this string ABC? So the subsequences of this string will be A, ABC, sorry, AB, ABC, B, BC, C, and MT. These will be the subsequences of ABC. Yes or no, guys? If I talk about the string ABC, then we have these subsequences for ABC, all the subsequences, right? Anybody here who doesn't know what is a subsequence? In the chat, please. Or you want me to explain it more? You can tell me in the chat. You guys are actually missing a bit here. Are these subsequences correct? That is one question that I want to ask you guys. See, that's what I'm telling you. This is wrong, right? So Akash has answered a question that is continuous part of string is subsequence. No, we will not say that. We will not say that, right? Guys, what is a subsequence? If I ask you one question, what is a subsequence? What is a subsequence according to you? There are two things, okay? One is a subsequence and one is substring. What is the difference between subsequence? What is the difference between substring? That is my question that I want to ask you guys. See, in subsequence, the part of string doesn't need to be continuous, but the relative ordering should be same. Again, I'm telling you this. In a substring, right? The relative ordering should be same, but the characters need not to be continuous. Am I making sense here? For example, if I ask you a question, is AC subsequence of ABC? The answer is yes. AC is a subsequence of ABC. Why? Because if you see in the actual string, C is coming after A. In my output string also, C is coming after A. So yes, AC is a subsequence of ABC. But if I say CA, then the answer is no. Why? Because in the actual string, C is coming after A, but in this string, C is coming before A. So whenever I talk about a subsequence, only relative ordering matters. Only relative ordering matters. Okay, characters may or may not be continuous. These are the 2 points that you need to understand. In a subsequence, relative ordering matters. Characters may or may not be continuous. Right? So if I ask you the question again, right? What are all the subsequence of ABC? Then in this case, now what will be your answer? First, one character subsequences. It will be like A, B, and C. Now, two character subsequences. What it will be? A, B, B, C, A, C. Now, if you see, the ordering is getting maintained here, right? If I talk about three character subsequences, then it will be ABC. And empty string also a subsequence of ABC. Empty string is also a subsequence of ABC. Now, guys, are you able to understand the question well? Any doubts here now after explaining this thing to you? So, initially, I intentionally wrote the wrong output so that you can understand that there is a difference between subsequence and a substring. Okay, in substring, characters should be continuous, but that is not the case with subsequences. In subsequences, only relative ordering matters. Characters may or may not be continuous. I hope that this makes sense to you, right? So we have these subsequences 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, how we can solve this question recursively? How we can solve this question recursively? Any any approach you want to suggest here? Any approach you want to suggest here? Like how we can solve this question recursively? This is a very important question. Why it's a very important question, guys? This question is really important because the only thing here is that this forms the base of recursion, dynamic programming, and many things. Okay, this is actually a very important concept. So, my question to you is how we can actually approach this problem if you have any idea regarding that. So, I want you guys to think and then I can actually, like discuss the solution with you. But first, if you have any things in your mind you want to tell, I will be happy to know about that. I'm checking the chats, right? Hmm, yeah, inclusive, exclusive, take and not take approach, right? So I got two answers. One answer I got from Abhay and one answer I got from Akash, right? Both are actually telling the same thing, that is pick or not pick concept. take or not take concept they are telling. Right. Let me tell you. So for every character, you have a choice. What is the choice? Include that character in your subsequence or exclude that character in your subsequence. And this is very, very, very evident, right? If you see in a one character substring thing, in a single character substring thing, right? We have A. So we are excluding B and C. We are including A. If you see here, AC, we are including A and C. We are excluding B, right? So if you see, you have two choices. What are the two choices you have? You can include a character or you can exclude a character. You can take a character or you can just exclude that. Makes sense, right? For this. So let's take an example. This is our input ABC, and initially I am passing an empty output. So this will be how my function will be looking. My function will have two arguments. One is the input and other is the output. Output will be empty because we have to build that output. Input is ABC in this case, right? So we have 0, 1, 2. Now guys, what I will do is I will take out the first character. What is the first character here? First character here is A. First character here is A, right? I will take it out. Now, what are the choices I have for this first character? The choices that I have is, one is I can pick it. Another choice I have is I will exclude it. So I have two choices. One is this character A, pick that character or exclude that character, right? So if I decide to pick that character, what will happen? So what is the rest of the string that is left? BC is the rest of the string that is left. So the input will be truncated to BC and my output will become equal to A. Now if I exclude that character, my rest of the string, input string will truncate, right? You're taking out A, you are deciding whether to include it or exclude it. Rest of the string will be BC and you are excluding that, right? Now go back to this 0, 1. What are the choices you have? So you are on the character B. What are the choices you have? Pick or don't pick. If you decide to pick it up, rest of the string is C, you picked that. If you decide to exclude this, rest of the string is C, this is A, right? Similarly for this, pick or don't pick. If you try to pick it up, now your input string will become empty and you will get the subsequence ABC. This is the base case, right? This is the base case. So when your input dot length becomes equal to 0, what you will do is you will print the subsequence. Print the output, right? Now, what is the second choice? The second choice is you need to exclude this. So if you exclude this, you will be left with AB. Again, it's a base case. So first you printed ABC, then you printed AB. Similarly for this case, two choices for C. Include, exclude. AC you get, A you get, right? So what do you get? You got AC, you got A. right? Similarly for this guys, BC. If you see BC, you are on the character B. Two choices. Either pick B or either discard B. So if you pick B, you are left with C and you are picking B. Similarly, if you discard B, you are left with C and empty. Similar is the case with this as well, right? What you will do is either you will pick C or either you will discard C. If you pick C, BC will become. If you discard C, then you will be left with B. Similarly for C, right? So you are picking C, you are discarding C. So if you see, you got BC as a subsequence, you got B as a subsequence, you got C as a subsequence, you got empty string as a subsequence, right? So if you see guys, these are all the subsequences that will be printed. And if you see, always for every character, okay, you have two choices. What are the choices? Either pick it up, either exclude it up. Either pick it up, either exclude it up. Either pick it up, either exclude. So always you have two choices, right? Always you have two choices here. So if I ask you for every character, how many choices you have? You will say two choices, pick or exclude, right? So guys, just I'm repeating it again. I have already told this a lot of times that if you have constant number of choices, so if you see, what do I mean by constant number of choice? At every state you have two choices. At this state you have two choices, 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 at this state you have two choices. So at every state, if you have constant number of choices, constant number of choices, right? So in your code also, the number of recursive calls will be equal to the number of choices. So if you have constant number of choices, if you have constant number of choices in code, number of recursive calls will be equal to number of choices. यशवीर भाई बढ़िया बढ़िया, आप बताओ guys, is it clear to every one of you? Any doubts here? Any doubts in the recursive tree? Any doubts in the approach? Anything? It's clear, right? Guys, in the chat you can write. So, see, I will write the code like this only. The same code I will write. Okay. So it will be like subsequences. You will be having input string. You will be having output string. Right. So, if you remember what we were doing in the recursion tree, in our recursion tree, we were always picking up the zeroth character. If you see, when our string was equal to ABC, we were picking A. When our string was equal to BC, we were picking B. When our string was equal to C, we were picking C. So what index character we were always picking? We were picking up the zeroth character always. Always we are picking the zeroth character. Right. So first step is picking the zeroth character. C zeroth. So if I am picking up the zeroth character, right? So I will do input dot char at 0. Input dot char at 0. Right. Now from ABC, if I have picked up zeroth character, what is the rest of the string that is left? The rest of the string that is left is starting from 1th index to the end. 1th index to the end. How can I write this expression in my code? So writing that expression in my code is very easy. So it will be string rest of string, rest of string, right? It will be output dot substring of 1. This means take the substring that is starting from 1th character to the end. So what it will do in this case is that for ABC, it will take the string starting from 1th character to the end. So it will take BC. It will take BC. Right. Now, for every 0th character, how many choices do I have? Two choices. Either pick or don't pick. Right? Either pick or don't pick. So subsequences, yeah, we can play on index also. Right. So I will pass rest of the string instead of input. In the output, I will simply append the 0th character. Right. This is the case when I'm picking the 0th character. This is the case when I'm picking up the 0th character. Right. Another choice I have is simply don't pick it. Rest of the string and output will remain unchanged. So this is something that I actually explained to you in the dry run as well, right? So what is the base case? Input dot length is equal to 0. I will say print my string and simply return. Right. Let's run this code once. One second. Let me run it as a Java application, right? Where we have the issue. Mhm. Oh, sorry. We took output dot substring, right? It should be input dot substring, right? See, it is also printing the empty one also, right? If you see that highlighter, ABC, AB, AC, A, BC, B, C, empty, right? So this is the output, guys. This is the output that we have. Is it clear, guys? Like, write it in the chat, please. If it is like awesomely clear, write the word zakas or awesome or something, whichever you want to add. Is it clear to everyone? Is it, so that we can move up to the next problem, right? No doubts, right? Cool. Now let's move to the second problem. So the second problem that we will be solving here is, right? So let's say that you have been given a n cross n board. So this is a n cross n board that is given to you. So this is a 3 cross 3 board. And let's say you are standing here. This is your starting point. Okay. Now what you can do is either you can move horizontally left, sorry, horizontally right, or you can move vertically down. Again, either you can move horizontally left, or either you can, sorry, horizontally right, or either you can move vertically down. These are the two things that you can do at any cell. These are the two things, two moves that you can make. Either you can go horizontally to the right, or either you can move vertically to the down. There's something that you can do, right? And what you need to do here is a very simple thing. What is that? You have to reach the destination that is here. So basically you have to reach this n minus 1, n minus 1. You will be starting from 0, 0, and you have to reach n minus 1, n minus 1. And you have to print all the ways to do that. You have to print all the ways to do that. Does the question makes sense, guys? Does the question make sense to every one of you? What do you have to do? Right? So, what are the moves? What will be the moves? Let us suppose what I did is I went horizontally, H, I made horizontal H, I moved vertically down, I moved vertically down. So the move will be H, H, V, V. That is the first move. What will be the other kind of move? The other kind of move will be H, V, H, V, H, V, H, V. What is the other kind of move? H, V, V, H, H, V, V, H. So these are some kind of moves. You have to print all the possible moves. Now, guys, again, if I ask you something, at every cell, how many choices do I have? At every cell, how many choices do I have? So at every cell, I have two choices, right? At every cell. So this is a question of constant number of choices, first thing. So either I can move horizontal, either I can move vertical. If I move horizontal, so let's say that I have the coordinates. Let's say I have the coordinates, right? So what are the coordinates I have? Let's say I have R, C as the coordinate. That is row number and the column number. If I move horizontally, my column will increase, right? If you see here, my column will increase. So it will be R, C plus 1. This will be the case in horizontal move. If I move vertically, this will be R plus 1, C. This will be my vertical move. So in my code, there will be two recursive calls. One call will be when you are moving horizontally, right? That is R C plus 1. And another you have is vertically down, that is R plus 1 C. This is a question of constant choices. So in your code, you have two recursive calls for horizontal and vertical. If I need to convert this thought into code, this is very, very easy, right? So I want you to learn to convert the recursive thoughts into code because that is where many of you people lack, right? So let's say that I have maze path. Let's say this is maze path, right? Let me make it as maze. So what you have is you have starting row and starting column. You have ending row and ending column. And you have path string that is empty initially. Okay. What you want to do is you want to make horizontal call. Horizontal will be SR, SC plus 1. Path will be appended with horizontal character. Path will be appended with horizontal character. Similarly, you have SR vertical, right? SR plus 1 SC. Path will be appended with vertical character. Path will be appended with vertical character. Right. So these are the two recursive calls. Now, recursion needs to be stopped somewhere. Recursion actually needs to be stopped somewhere. If recursion is not stopping somewhere, then it is a problem, right? For that, we have the base cases, right? How we can determine the base cases, guys. So, if you reach here, do I need to recurse further? The answer is no. I have reached my destination. I got a path. For example, if I move HHVV, I moved at the end cell and I got the path. Why I will recurse more? So that is a positive base case where you will get your answer. That is a positive base case where you will get your answer. If start row is equal to end row and start column is equal to end column, then I will print the path and I will return. This is my positive base case. This is my positive base case, right? So what I will do in this case is I will say if start row is equal to end row and start column is equal to end column, I will simply print the path and I will return. I will simply print the path and I will return. Now, what will be the negative base cases? So let's say what happened is I moved horizontal, I moved horizontal, and again I moved horizontal. So what will happen? I am standing at a column that is equal to 3. But does the 3 column exist? No. So you are at a illegal state. You are at a illegal state. Similarly, if I go vertical, 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 I am standing at a row 3, right? Again a illegal state. Again at a illegal state. So this is very simple base case that we have. If either of the base cases are true. So if you see what is the coordinate here, it is 0, 3. So row is in the bounds, but the column is illegal. Similarly, if I talk about here, right, it is 3, 2. Column is in the bounds, but the row is illegal. So either of the two can be illegal, right? Either the row can be illegal or either the column can be illegal, right? So how can I write this base case? How can I write this base case? That is the question now. It is very simple. You will say if start row is greater than end row or start column is greater than end column. You will say this is illegal, simply return. You will say this is illegal, simply return. Right. Now, let's just call this out. Start row, start column 0, 0. For a 3 cross 3, we have 2 cross 2, like 2 end row, end column. And initially, we have the path that is equal to empty. See, these are all the paths, guys. Guys, in the meantime, how many of you are in the chat? Please subscribe my channel and like the video if you like. Okay, if you like the concept and everything, subscribe and like the video. Subscribe my channel for more, and also press the bell icon, guys. So guys, is this problem clear to you, everyone? Any doubts, sir? So let's see it via recursive tree also once. Let me simulate it for you so that you can actually. So I will not simulate all the paths, but I will try to simulate one or two of the paths right here. So initially we have start row 0, start column 0, end row 2, end column 2, and we have an empty path. I am standing here. Two choices I have: move horizontal. So what I did, I made a horizontal call. Horizontal call means that I am incrementing my column. So start row will be 0, start column will become 1. These things will remain the same, and this is edge. Now again two choices I have. Let me move horizontally, right? So this will be like this: 0, 2, 2, 2, H, H. Right. Now guys, again if I try to make a horizontal move here, this will be my negative base case hit, right? This will be somewhat like this: 3, 2, 2, H, H, right? This is illegal. So it will make me return back. Now, what is another choice I have? Another choice is making a vertical call. So I will make a vertical call, right? What will be the vertical call here means? Vertical call here means 1, 2, 2, 2, H, H, V. From here also I have two choices, horizontal or vertical. If I again try to make a horizontal call here, it will make me go to 1, 3, 2, 2, H, H, V. Again, it is illegal. I will return back. I will make a vertical call. It will be 2, 2, 2, 2, H, H, V, V. So this is where, if you see, I hit my positive base case and I will print the answer and I will back off. I will back off. I will back off. So where I'm standing right now, guys. So I'm standing here right now again, if you see, because I'm standing on this state, right? Right. So this is how we got the first path. This is how we got the first path here. Right. So that path was HHVV. That path was HHVV. Right. We got the first path like that. Similar is the case with other paths also, guys. So how we can do? So right now I made a horizontal move. I made a horizontal move. Right. So what is the next choice I have? To make a vertical move. It is as simple. I will make a vertical move. Vertical move means 1, 1, 2, 2, HV. Right. Now guys, what I will do is I will make a horizontal move. So what is a horizontal move? 1, 2, 2, HVH. Now, if I again make a horizontal move, I will be on an illegal state. I will be on an illegal state. So it will not make me move horizontally. Now guys, if I make a vertical move, so I will be at 2, 2, 2, 2, HV, HV. Right. So if you see, I got another path that is HV, HV. Right. This is how these things work. This is how their recursive code is working. Right. At every step, if you see, we have two choices at every step. So this is also a question of constant number of recursive calls here. Am I making sense, guys? Here, is it clear to everyone? In the chat, please. And also subscribe the channel and like the video if you like. And also, guys, press the bell icon or else you will not get the notification if I post anything. Makes sense, right? So this is one of the problem. It is a very important. Both the problems are really important that we have discussed till now. Subsequences and this these forms a very important part, right? Now I have another problem that will be the last problem we'll be discussing. That is permutations of string. So guys, let us suppose I have an input string that is equal to ABC. I have an input string that is equal to ABC. What will be the permutations of ABC? What we do is, let's fix the character A. Let's fix the character A. And starting with A will be ABC or either ACB. So if we fix the character A, these will be the permutations, either ABC or either ACB. Now let's fix the character B. So either it will be BAC or BCA. Let's fix the character C. It will be CAB or CBA. So for ABC, there will be 6 permutations we have. Yes or no, guys? Am I correct? Thanks, Shubham. Thanks a lot. It means a lot. Am I correct here, guys? Yes, right. So if you see, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Either we are fixing the 0th character and then we are changing the order for rest of the characters. Either we are fixing the 1th character and we are changing the order of rest of the characters. Either we are fixing the 2th character, that is C, and we are changing the order of other characters. This is what I am doing. Yes or no? I think this is what I am doing, right? What do you say? Right. So what I'm doing is, I'm saying let's take the first character. Let's take the 0th character. Let's take the 0th character. So what is the 0th character here? 0th character is A. 0th character is A. Right. So what is the rest of the substring that is left? If I'm taking A, what is the rest of the substring left? That is BC. That is BC. That is BC, right? So here I am also taking an empty string, that is my output. Okay. So here what I'm taking is, I'm taking a 0th character A. My rest of the string will be equal to BC, and I have taken up A. And I've taken up A. Now guys, if I take B as a first character, what is my rest of the string? Rest of the string is AC, and I've taken a character B as my first character. If I want to take C as my first character, so this is A, this is B, this is C. So I'm left with the string AB, and C is my first character. Right. If you see, this is what is happening actually. Actually, this is something that is happening here. Right. Now, let's see here. If I take B character, the pattern will remain same, right? So in the permutation, you actually take all the possible scenarios, right? So if I take a B character, right, I will be left with C. I will be have AB. If I take C character, if I take C character, I will be left with B. I will be have AC. So this is when I take C character. If I take C character, I will be left with empty and I have ABC. This is your first permutation. If I will take B character, I will be left with empty. I will be having ACB. This is your second permutation. If you see here very carefully, right? So this is the part where you are starting the permutations with character A. So if you see, your A character was fixed, but you were permuting B and C. Similarly, if you see for this part, right? If I will take A character, C will be left BA. If I will take C character, A will be left BC. If I will take C character, BAC. If I will take A character, BCA. If you see this thing now again, this is your permutations that are starting with B, this tree, right? Similar is the case with C. So if you take C, like C is fixed, right? So what you have is this was the one, right? So if you take A character, if you take B character, if you take B character here, if you take B character here, CAB. If you take A character here, CBA. So guys, if you carefully observe here, this is your recursion tree that is starting with character C, right? And you got all the possible permutations. Now guys, look at this recursive tree. Initially, initial state, there are 3 recursive calls. Then there are 2 recursive calls. Then there are 1 recursive calls. Number of recursive calls here are not constant. Number of recursive calls here are not constant. So number of choices here are not constant, right? So guys, if you have non-constant recursive calls or choices, the code structure will look somewhat like this. You will have a loop, and inside the loop you will have a recursive call. Just see this statement very carefully. If you have a non-constant recursive call or choices, like we see here, you will have a loop and you will put your recursive call in that particular loop. This you have to understand. This I have observed. This is correct always, guys. These are all the techniques that I have seen and developed, right? Which I have seen. These are all my observations, right? And these are correct for every question. If you have non-constant recursive calls or choices, it's very simple. You will have a loop, and inside the loop, you will keep the recursive call. Okay. Now, how the loop structure will look like? Let's see. So, guys, if you see the scenario here, A, B, C. If you're taking character A, if you're taking character A, what is the rest of the string left? BC. If you are taking character B, what is the rest of the string left? AC. If you are taking character C, right? Just look at this. Just look at this. How you can make your input string from ABC to AC. How you can make your input string from ABC to AC if you are picking up 1th character. My question is how you can make input string from ABC to AC if you are taking 1th character into account. How you can do that? It is very easy, guys. See, what index character you are taking? Here you have I that is equal to 1. Here you have I that is equal to 1. Right? In Java, there is a function called substring. In C also you have, I know. But in Java, you have a function that is called substring. Right? So this is starting index and this is ending index. This is inclusive, but this is exclusive. Starting index is inclusive, but ending index is exclusive. Right? So if you see in this ABC, an I here is equal to 1. How I can fetch A? What I will do is I will do 0, 1. Now, what will 0, 1 give me? 0, 1 is this part, right? 0, 1 is this part. But what I said to you, I said ending index is exclusive here. Ending index is exclusive here. So this 0, 1 will give me A. And then what I will do is I will do plus, plus substring I plus 1, plus substring I plus 1. What is I plus 1 here? I plus 1 here is 2. So what I'm doing is I'm doing plus 2. So basically this means that starting index to till the end of the string. Starting index till the end of the string. Let us suppose I have A, B, C, D. I have A, B, C, D. I here is equal to 1. So if I put it that way, that is substring 2. This means starting from 2 until the end. So it will be equal to CD. Guys, is the substring function clear to everyone? Any doubts in the substring function? So my formula here actually is, please write it in the chat if you have any doubts. Or if it is clear, then also write. Substring of 0 to I plus substring of I plus 1. This is how I will fetch the string. This is how I will convert ABC to AC. Right? This is how I will convert ABC to AC. So if you see here, guys, initially I is equal to 0, I is equal to 1, I is equal to 2. Here I is equal to 0, I is equal to 1. So this is my loop. Like if you see, I am looping, and I already told you, right? If you have non-constant recursive call or choices, the thing that you need to do is you will be using a loop. Inside the loop, you will be making a recursive call. Let's try to code this and you will understand more what I'm saying. String input, string output, right? So for ABC, I have I is equal to 0, 1, 2. What was the length of ABC? The length of ABC was 3. How many iterations I performed? I performed 3 iterations, 0, 1, 2, right? Int I is equal to 0, I less than equal to input dot length, I plus plus. Now what I will do? I will simply make the recursive call inside the loop. Now I have to fetch the new input string. How I can fetch the new input string? This also I have told you, right? So it will be somewhat like this. First, you take out the ith character. You will take out the ith character. How you will take out the ith character? In dot caret I. Now what will be the rest of the input string, guys? Rest of the input string. Input dot substring 0 to I plus input dot substring I plus 1. I plus 1. This will be your rest of the string. In the output, you will append the ith character. Right. And guys, when is the what is the stopping condition? Stopping condition is really simple, right? If you have the length of the input string becomes equal to 0, then you will simply stop and print, right? So that is the base case we have. If input dot length is equal to 0, you will simply print the output, and you will simply return. So guys, if you see, I always teach in a manner so that when you are converting your thoughts in the code, you are following the same pattern. I told you, right? If there are constant, if you have the variable number of recursive calls, you will have a loop. Inside the loop, you will have the recursive call. I told you how you can fetch the rest of the string, right? I told you what is the base case, and we just did these steps only. If you see, we just did these steps. That's it, right? Nothing more, nothing less. See, ABC, ACB, BAC, BCA, CAB, CBA. Right. Guys, any doubts? Any doubts you have here? Thanks, Sean. Thanks a lot for this. Very much clear, right, guys? So that's it for today's session, guys. Also, I request that you share these sessions with your peer group also, right? This may help them also. And I will be meeting in the next session. Until then, that's it. If you have any doubts, you may ask here only. No problems with that. It's fine, right? Thanks, Shweta. Thanks a lot. That's it, guys. Thanks, Akash. Thanks a lot. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.